Hello, reading fans. It's August 15th today, and so therefore I am at the halfway mark of my summer reading challenge. So I thought that it would be appropriate to do an update and see where I'm at. So that's what this video is about today. So just a little side note for people who were wondering what happened to me. So my computer and my phone died on the same day. My phone battery has been failing for some time, and it finally completely packed it in. And, it didn't owe me anything, so fine, whatever, right? But then I had to go replace the battery, and I had to go through all the trouble of putting things together on my mobile. In the meantime, I spilled some coffee on the table, and I didn't think that it had gotten my laptop, but it did. And my enter key stopped working, which is, of course, a real pain in the butt. So my nephew took it apart to try to fix it and found out that you would have had to take everything out in order to get to the keyboard, which was the very last thing. So I think he tried. Then something that he did triggered BitLocker. See, I was running Windows 8 on my little laptop, and I had used an emulator to go back to the classic Windows view because I hated their setup, but I thought it was too much of a pain in the ass to try to change the operating system, so I never did. But I didn't know that it had this wonderful feature to protect your data by locking your hard drive unless you can find your Windows boot disk, which of course I never can. And so dead hard drive, dead keyboard means buy a new laptop, right? Because it's too expensive to replace both of those things. So in the meantime, this is a loaner. I have another one on order that will arrive soon. Yeah, sorry for all the trouble. I should be back and in the swing of things within a week or so. So thanks for bearing with me. Okay, first things first. I haven't been very good at updating my Worlds Without End reading challenges, even though I've been very good at updating the bingo card. So, catching up. When I finished reading by Yevgeny Zamyatin, that brought me up to 8 out of 12 in the Apocalypse Now challenge. When I finished A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which I no longer have with me because I returned it to the library, that gave me 2 out of 12 for the High Fantasy reading challenge, which, to be fair, I just started, so. Now, I'm still struggling my ponderous way through The Last and First Men, which has not become any more interesting than it was when I started it. And I am currently almost finished Earth Abides by George R. Stewart. When I am finished those two, I will have completed 9 out of 12 for the Apocalypse Now challenge, and I will be done with the SF Masterworks challenge for this year's cycle, which I began in August last year. So then the first book for the next year's challenge will be Martian Time Slip by Philip K. Dick. And I'm still working on getting a copy of that one. I may have to resort to reading it online. We'll see how that goes. In the meantime, however, for my bingo card, I have started and completed this one. This is Darkly Dreaming Dexter by Jeff Lindsay. Some of you may recognize the cover from, as they say, the killer character that inspired the hit Showtime series Dexter, which I've not seen. I've heard about it. My mother-in-law's a big fan of it, but I myself have not watched the show. One of the requirements on my bingo card was a mystery. And this is a bit of a dark and sinister mystery, but since it's about a serial killer who uses his ability to understand other serial killers to track them down, I think it counts. It's just a little sinister. And would you believe that that is lighter reading than this or this? So change of pace. I kind of chewed through it in about a day and a half. Strangely enough, I believe it also counts towards a funny book. It was full of a lot of sarcastic gallows humor, and you found yourself chuckling at odd places and snickering and generally kind of having a good laugh at human nature, which was kind of fun. I really enjoyed the book. I thought it was, I don't know, it read very quickly, and it's a lighter read than a lot of the reads that I have been looking at. And yet somehow Jeff Lindsay manages to make you really like and identify with this crazy sociopathic murderer and really kind of appreciate his point of view in life, and you kind of have a laugh at all of humanity through his eyes, and you can really identify with the character in many ways. So I think that's quite an achievement. I'm really impressed. Obviously, Lindsay did some serious research as to the nature of what goes on in a sociopath's head. The data is very accurate with modern research. And yet with all that, like I say, the character is very likable and identifiable, and you think maybe there might even be some cracks around his armor. So, good stuff. So I will once again go to my handy dandy bingo card. And there we are. Now then, taking stock. It's about 5 weeks since I started doing this program. I started doing it a little late. It started about 2 weeks before I started doing it, I think. But with a month left, I am now at the halfway point. I have completed 12 out of the 24 different options. So I'm on track. But because a lot of these have been options which have doubled, like they've counted for more than one slot, I really kind of have to pick up the pace if I'm going to finish this by the deadline of September 15th. And I will definitely be required to take a picture and send it in while I'm on the road, because I will not complete it before I leave. So then, the winner for my nonfiction read will be The Secret History of the Mongol Queens by Jack Weatherford, and I'm looking forward to this one. I think that since it's all about the Mongols, I'm pretty sure it can also count for a set in Asia, so that'll make things a little easier. When I complete that, I will have the bottom row done, so that's at least one entry into the draw for gift certificates to local bookstores. So I'll have that much at least. After that, I really will read my Patrick O'Brian book, which I've been looking forward to, and I've got a couple things picked out for the other categories already. I'm still looking for set in a place that I have visited. I have yet to find a book that is set in a place that I have visited. Now, I've visited quite a lot of Canada, I've actually been through most of the country, at least in a vehicle. I've gotten as far as Quebec City, and remember, I'm in BC, so that's west to east. I've not been north. I have visited Washington State, Idaho-ish. I was there for a school field trip when I was a teenager, for my swing choir that I was in, a big jazz festival. And in the US, I have been, when I took a bus trip to Maine, I went south at Niagara Falls. I have been to Boston. I have been to a few communities in Maine, but not Bangor. I've not been to Bangor, so that doesn't count. I can't read a Stephen King novel for this, I don't think. And I have been to Salem, Massachusetts. So if you can think of a book that takes place in any of those places that you would recommend, that includes pretty much every major city along the Trans-Canada Highway from here to Montreal as well. So, Calgary, Edmonton, Regina, Swift Current, Thunder Bay, Toronto briefly, Ottawa, right? And Montreal itself. Give me a suggestion. And if not, then I'm sure I'll find something. In the meantime, that's my update at the halfway point. Thanks for joining me. Follow me on my blog. Questions, comments, anything you'd like to see me review, let me know.